everything's working. Okay, audio sounds good. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malin coming at you with another Madden 24 live stream, and we are back with the Carolina Panthers rebuild. Just to kind of get into a little bit of the real life NFL, yesterday was pretty interesting. My Cowboys are the champions of the NFC East. They're the number 2 seed. They got the Packers this week in the wild card round, and the Eagles fell off a cliff, and they're probably still nosediving after a 27-10 loss to the Giants. Cowboys beat the Commanders, and that wound up giving them the NFC East title. So pretty interesting stuff going into the playoffs. But, we'll see what happens, because you never know with the Cowboys. They could, have a great playoff, or they could just, fall flat on their face in the wild card round. You just never know. But let's get to Madden 24. Let's get back to a team that isn't, technically in the last live. Okay, well, I can't say technically because it did happen. In the last live stream, we started out the Carolina Panthers rebuild, and this rebuild is kind of going forward and backward at the same time, if you guys know, if you catch my drift. So the Carolina Panthers, we actually won the NFC South last year. We had a home playoff game. We won our wild card round, but we lost the divisional round against the Dallas Cowboys. So this year, we're going into a season where we're a little bit worse in certain positions, but overall, we're about the same. Obviously, we still have Bryce Young as our quarterback. He's only a 76 overall, but I'm pretty sure by, who knows, year 3, he could be up to a guy in the 80s and a solid quarterback to have, but we will see. We still have Andy Dalton as our backup, and we have Chuba Hubbard and Sanders. We have Ingram and Dye. The running backs are still all the same. Quarterbacks and running backs are the same. We actually don't have a fullback, so I'm going to need to go sign one. We weren't able to do a whole lot in free agency simply because we didn't have a whole lot of cap room, but we did sign Kendrick Bourne. Mostly I wanted to get him because he was one of the top receivers that we could actually afford in free agency, and Adam Thielen, our best receiver, retired. And we still have Chark, and we still have Mingo. Terrence Marshall's still here, but we did draft Dorian Singer, rookie out of USC. He's a deep threat, and I like him as a future part of this team, although technically right now he's low on the depth chart. He's our 5th best receiver. We do have a bunch of other receivers, but we still have Hayden Hurst, and we still have Tommy Tremble. We still have the offensive line is still the same. No changes there. Really not a whole lot of new faces, and like I said, Danico Autry is a new face for us. We lost our starting left end free agency, but we drafted Gabriel Murphy, rookie out of UCLA. And I'm interested in him because hopefully he can develop. He's at 68 overall right now, but hopefully he can get better. And if we can't bring back Autry because he's not going to be here for, I think, too much longer, we'll see. We still have Derek Brown, 90 overall, still our best defensive player. We locked him up to a long-term deal. And we have Shai Tuttle. Henry Anderson is coming back from injury. We also drafted Tyler Davis out of Clemson. So a lot of the new faces on this team are coming from the draft class. Hopefully Davis can be somebody who can develop into a starting defensive tackle for us. We still have DJ Johnson as our starting left outside linebacker. We brought back Shaq Lawson, 83 overall. We still have Frankie Lavu. We brought back him as well. So our middle linebackers are still the same. We brought back Brian Burns. His contract, though, is eating up a lot of the cap room, but I didn't want to risk losing a guy that was 89 overall, teetering on 90. Of course, we have J.C. Horn, and we have Dante Jackson, and we drafted Fetral Cypress II, a rookie out of Florida State. And 71 overall, hopefully he can become a good second-string corner if we keep Horn for the rest of his time. We'll see. And we still have Deshaun Jameson. Free safety, we still have Xavier Woods. We have Williamson backing him up. And Williamson is a guy who has been in the league for a year. I thought he was a guy he drafted. And we still have strong safety Von Bell, and Jamie Robinson's backing him up. We still have the same kicker and punter. So not a whole lot of changes to the roster from year 1 to year 2, mostly because, this was a playoff team. We did make the playoffs, and we did win a playoff game. So this rebuild may not be taking as long as I thought, but more so because of the run that we made in the playoffs last year. And by a run, I mean we won our division and we won one game. Don't think I really need to blow the team up just yet, but that might be coming. We got a lot of lower overall guys who I'm sure won't be around here for too much longer, but, we'll see how it is. But first things first, let's get a fullback. Let's go ahead and sign Michael Burton. to be our starting fullback. He's the best overall fullback available. There's not a lot of them, but we're going to have Burton be our starting fullback because we don't have one. So we obviously had to go get one. Of course, due to the fact that our salary cap situation is pretty tight in terms of money, and we didn't have a lot to spend this offseason, mostly, like I said, because of the contracts that we have with Derek Brown and Brian Burns, we don't have a whole lot of cap room available to do things this past offseason. So hopefully this next offseason, maybe we can do a little bit more things, so that way we can, just be able to help the team out a little bit. Get them even better. Because obviously the goal of any rebuild that I always do, as you guys well know, the rebuild to me is fully complete when the team wins the Super Bowl. I didn't really finish some rebuilds in the last Madden, but I've finished every single one of them in Madden 24 so far. Cardinals, Patriots, and the Bears. And now I want to finish it off with the Panthers, who were another one of the worst teams. Now, I know in terms of the next rebuild that I'm going to do, something I want to tell you guys. I know I have a rule in my mind. I mean, it's my rule, but this is my gaming channel, so I make the rules. That I don't want to rebuild any NFC East teams. But there's a lot of intriguing things when it comes to the Washington Commanders. Okay, in real life, they did just fire Ron Rivera. They have new ownership, and they're a team and an organization that has been just in terrible shape based on the way Daniel Snyder ran them into the ground since the dawn of the new millennium. And I think there's some appealing things there. There's some good players there. So maybe that could be a team that I rebuild. Them or possibly the New York Giants. And the reason I say the Giants could be the next rebuild is because of the Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor debacle. Because in real life, if you guys have been following anything with the Giants, Tommy DeVito and Tyrod Taylor have played better than Daniel Jones did in the first few games that he was healthy. I mean, the Giants just stomped the Eagles to win their 6th game of the season. I know 6-11 is not what they wanted, and that's bad. But still, it could be a deal where I just say, let's just get rid of Daniel Jones and his massive contract, and let's ride with DeVito or Tyrod Taylor. Just do something else. And, maybe get rid of Saquon too, because there's rumors he may not be back next year. Speaking of good running backs who may not be back, Derrick Henry. That could be another potential rebuild. More rebuilds are coming, but first things first, we got to finish this one. So we are in the preseason, so let's go ahead and get through our preseason games, and let's see how we do. Had a full week of work this week, so all 5 days. So I'm still kind of getting back in the flow, if you will. So unfortunately, we got a new injury. Let's see who's hurt. It's probably somebody significant. So Miles Sanders is out for 3 weeks with a torn labrum. Well, he'll miss the rest of camp and preseason, but that's not the end of the world because Chuba Hubbard is actually our starter right now, and we're just going to ride with him once again this season, just like we did last year. So we're playing the Bills in preseason week number 2. We did win our first game of the preseason against the Jaguars, and now we're playing the Bills next. And let's see how we do in this one. We lose this one by 11, and now we are playing the 0-2 Patriots in the preseason. Go ahead and wrap up the preseason. Hopefully we can get a win. And hopefully the young guys are playing okay, because we've got some young rookies who I know are probably going to have to play regular for us, and we'll see. So unfortunately we lost, and we have to cut 2 players. Our roster wasn't that big going into this preseason anyway. We only had We only have 55 players, so we weren't anywhere near the 75 deal. But then again, what can we really add when we don't have a whole lot of cap room to spend any money? All right, so let's go ahead and maybe is there any way we can spend skill points on Frank Wright? Because I really want to get him up a little bit. Okay, maybe we could spend something here. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's give him those. Let's give him that. And so now we only have 2 points left. We'll use those skill points for later on our other coordinators. Or potentially Wright, depending on how many skill points we get later. First things first, we got to cut 2 players and get ready for the regular season. All right, so let's go ahead and go position by position. We got a bunch of extra running backs, and I'm pretty confident we're going to have to get rid of one of these guys. So Matt Colburn, let's go ahead and get rid of him. And just because we still have Sanders injured, I don't want to get rid of another running back just yet. We got a bunch of extra receivers. Can we cut Brandon Smith? No, that'll get a cap. What about Maurice Alexander? Can we cut him? No. Camp? No. No, we can't. We can't really cut any of our receivers without getting a cap penalty. All right, let's go to offensive line. Oh yeah, Troy Fermo, the guard out of Washington, was our second-round pick. So I'm pretty excited about him eventually coming in here and being a contributor in the future. There's Nixon. Yeah, our roster's pretty thin, so I don't know how many guys I really want to put on practice squad. Claudin Charius? I don't know. Let's not do that just yet. Let's see about other maybe no, we have only 4 corners, so I don't want to deactivate any of them. Okay, let's go back to linebackers, because I believe there was an extra middle linebacker that. Yeah, let's go ahead and put Chairless on practice squad, and that's it. Not a whole lot of moves, but then again, we don't have a big roster anyway. We have 53 guys. So let's go ahead and simulate to next week, and let's get the regular season started. We're 77 across the board. I don't know how much that will increase during the season, so who knows. So let's go ahead and choose our draft class. Let's go ahead and make sure we choose the correct one. I'm going to take my time. I'm better about that. So let's go and take a look. So let's see. We've got these draft classes right here. The 2025 draft. Let's go ahead and select this one. I'm going to overwrite the file just in case on the chance that they might have changed some things. This should be one that has Drew Alar and some other good players in there. Let's see who they've got on deck. Alexander, Will Campbell, Will Johnson, Bear, Marvin Jones Jr. of Georgia, and Cade, guy who we used for the Bears rebuild, get a new quarterback. Perkins, Siles, Singleton, Bunsen, Stewart, Starks, Antonio Gates Jr. Yep. This is a pretty accurate draft class. All right. So let's go ahead and upgrade players. Let's go ahead and upgrade Eku, one of our backup linebackers. All right. So we open up against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not really expecting this season to be nearly as good as it was last year, to be honest with you guys. I think this is the year where we actually play more like the Panthers probably should have played in the first year of this rebuild, where we're not a playoff team and we're on the fringe of being able to barely even compete for the division title. And like I said, we lost our best receiver. I mean, Kendrick Bourne is still an 81 overall, so he's probably going to help out Bryce Young a little bit, but we don't have really any household names on offense. Now, hopefully we have more money this offseason to work with, and we can actually name some big-name free agents and really get the Panthers upgraded. Because we have some name guys like Brian Burns and we have Derek Brown, but, we need to make some moves in different ways. Be able to, get some legitimate players in here to really build this team back up to being not just a team that will once again compete for the NFC South title like we did last year, but also compete in the playoffs and hopefully get to a Super Bowl. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what any owner wants to do for any team. And the Panthers have never won a championship. This will be another rebuild where I essentially try to give a team a championship that's never won one. Because I got one with the Cardinals, and Patriots and Bears have won one before, but it's been years. So, now with the Panthers, we're trying to give a team a Super Bowl who hasn't won it yet. That's what we're trying to do. Well, middle of the season, we're actually not in super bad shape. We're 3-3, so not bad. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, that we are not well below 500. But here we are, 3-3, still fighting for the division title. And Bryce Young is up to a 77 at the midpoint of the season, so that's pretty good. He didn't win Rookie of the Year last year, but he came in second. Obviously, getting into the playoffs probably put him in consideration for that award. So the Bucks this year are 5-2 so far. They're kind of running away with the division right now. It looks like it may be their year. We're up to a 79 on defense, so that's pretty good. I'm sure Burns has played very well this season. That's probably been one of the reasons why it's been ballooned up a little bit. So let's go to the negotiating screen and see what players' contracts we have who are running out. We have $118 million to spend. Now, Derek, unfortunately, I think is somebody that we had to play on the franchise tag. We may come back to him later, but J.C. Horn is a guy that I really want to keep here as long as I possibly can. Offers perfect, can't wait for next season. Okay, I think keeping Horn for a few more years is going to be pretty big, if I do say so myself. Now, Shaq and Xavier, these guys, I mean, this is pretty tough. I want to see if I can get Shaq to come back for maybe a couple more seasons. Happy to sign. All right, great. So we got Shaq back. Derek Brown is not really super happy right now, so I kind of wonder if I do want to bring him back. And the same thing with Xavier Woods, even though he's an 81 overall. He doesn't fit our scheme, but yeah. Now, Dante Jackson, I think, is somebody I can actually afford to lose because we drafted a young corner in the draft this season. Now, what about these guys? I mean, Chuba Hubbard is solid, but we still have Miles Sanders. And his contract, I don't think, is up. So I'm honestly tempted to let Hubbard walk and see if there's a better running back in free agency who we could potentially sign. And also, a lot of these guys' interest is not up there. So I think I really need to just mess with guys' interests who right now are actually up there, and guys who actually want to come back. And Michael Burton could be another guy we can consider coming back as well. Now Woods wants to come back, so let's just see what this initial offer yields us. It's a good offer. Okay, great. So we've got Woods to come back. 81. I don't know if I really wanted to let him walk. But some of these guys, you know, Chark is solid, but we still have Kendrick Bourne for another year or two. So, and we did draft a receiver. So there also may be another receiver we can get in the offseason. So I think Chark is a guy that I can afford to let walk. He's solid, but he's not our number one receiver. Right now, that's Kendrick Bourne. So, and, you know, we need to cut back a little bit. You know, we need to, you know, allow ourselves to have some money to spend in the offseason so we don't spend it all right now. But I really don't want to lose Derek Brown because as of right now, he's our top-rated player. But maybe he'll be happier if we're not 3-3 by the end of the season, and maybe we're a playoff team. If not, maybe we have to cut our losses and get somebody else, but we'll see. Anyway, we got a tough matchup against the Chiefs. They may be 3-4, but they're just as dangerous. So we'll see about this one. And we lost that game by 25 points. And we got a really tough game right now against the Bucks, who are 5-3. Let's go ahead and upgrade some of our players. Singer looks like he's getting some time, so that's good. He's actually up to a 71, so that's pretty good. He's getting a little bit better. Good thing is that the rookie, you know, gets some time, so that's pretty big. All right, so we got a game against the Bucks. This is the best team in the division this year. We're 3-4. We're just like the Falcons. So I'm thinking this is going to be a loss, but are we going to be respectable and be competitive with the team that's probably going to win the division this season? We'll see. Well, we lose by 4. Well, it was competitive, but we didn't win. So let's go ahead actually to the bottom and answer our media question, because I'm sure Coachman is asking us about. You're under 500 right now. There's going to be some changes. We'll just say that. Because I really want to say that, you know, we're kind of in a rebuilding year for this really being the first real rebuild year. Mostly because, you know, we're a little bit worse. You know, we had to let some guys walk. We're not as deep, we're not as deep off the bench as we used to be. So I think that's another factor in all of this. Let's do weekly awards. Looks like somebody got an award. So J.C. Horn won NFC Defensive Player of the Week with 6 tackles and 1 interception, and he just got a nice new contract. So good for him. Thanks for looking up for Horn. He's our best corner. I didn't want to let him just walk away for nothing. So let's see. We're 3-5. We got the 4-4 Commanders. This should be a game that we might be able to win, but it's not going to be easy going in up there to Washington because I'm pretty sure this Commanders team is a little better than they were the first year. Well, we beat the Commanders by 3, so that's good. We're 4-5, and oh my goodness, the New Orleans Saints are 0-9. They have not won a single game. But they're better than us on paper. So, wow. Okay, well, just based on the fact that this team is winless who we're playing, this is a game that we cannot afford to lose, if you ask me. If we do, then I think I know where this season is going, and it's in the toilet. So hopefully we don't give the Saints their first win in Week 11. We're 4-5. We're just fighting to keep some slim playoff hopes alive, and we take care of business and we get back to 500. So we're back at 500. We beat them 49-28, but it was a pretty high-scoring game. And Shaq Thompson won NFC Defensive Player of the Week with 9 tackles, 2 picks, and a touchdown. Must have had an interception return for a touchdown. Big-time performance from him helps us get the 49-28 victory over the Saints, who are now 0-10. They are probably going to get the number 1 overall pick in the draft. I'll be. I mean, the Saints have some good talent, but, I mean, they must just have a terrible new coach or something. They must have fired Dennis Allen after the first year, and they got a new coach in there who doesn't know what he's doing. They're in more of a rebuild than us. Meanwhile, we're still at 500. And the Bucs are actually at 6-4, so we're only 1 game behind them for the division lead. So we're not completely out of it yet, but first things first, let's get back to negotiating and see if any of the happiness has gone up for any of the players. Well, Derek Brown is still not a very happy camper, so we'd have to offer him a pretty big deal just to keep him around. And let's see about the rest of these guys. You know, Autry, I think, is somebody who I wouldn't mind bringing back for 1 more year, but I feel like we can get a better defensive end in free agency. And we may have to get 2 of them because I don't know about Derek Brown. You know, it's going to be tough. I'm going to let Hecker and Pinheiro walk because we can probably get a better kicker and punter in the offseason. Terrence Marshall Jr. is another receiver I'm going to let it walk. So we're letting away Chark and Marshall, our second and basically third receivers, walk because I feel like we can get better there. Christensen, maybe, and Tommy Tremble, he likes being here. I know Hurst is still going to be here, but I think keeping Tremble around would be nice. Ian Thomas we can probably let walk. We'll probably keep Burden and Anderson for 1 year, and Andy Dalton can walk, and we'll find a different backup quarterback this offseason. But Derek Brown, you know, is somebody that I might have to wait for until later because I want his meter to be going up a little bit in terms of happiness, you know, like he wants to be here. If he doesn't, then, you know, we'll think about moving on. So let's see about this game against the Vikings. They're pretty good. They're 9-1. They got a 9-8 overall Justin Jefferson, so that's scary. But we're coming down the stretch of the regular season, and you know this is where we have to be playing our best ball, but we didn't play it in that one, and we lost by 4. We're 5-6, and unfortunately because of that, we've dropped to 3rd in the division. The Buccaneers and the Falcons are both ahead of us, so they are now the ones who are fighting for the division title. Not good. So we may be almost mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but hey, it's a rebuild for a reason, and I will still play the last game of the regular season if in fact we are not going to the playoffs. Playoff picture. Let's take a look at right now what's going on. So right now the Falcons and the Buccaneers would actually both be in the playoffs. The Bucs would be the final wild card spot. So if we can overtake them, we could possibly sneak into the playoffs as a 7th seed, but we will be facing the Dallas Cowboys in the first round in the wild card round. A team that won the Super Bowl last year. Because by the way, after they beat us, they beat everybody in their path and they won their 6th title. So that would be a pretty tough first round matchup with a team that is far inferior to the one we had last year according to how this season has transpired. No question about it. So that's what we have to do. We pretty much have to be at the same level as the Buccaneers right now, even though they're only 1 game ahead of us. But still, pretty tough road ahead. Let's go ahead and take a look at this game against the Falcons. This is a big one against them. If we beat the Falcons, we could actually launch ourselves back into consideration for the division and the playoffs. But I don't know. Well, I think that answers my question. We lost by 9 points, and now we're fully into 3rd place, and the Saints are still winless. Oh, my Lord. Gosh, the Saints are awful. And look who we have to play next. The defending world champion Cowboys, even though they're 8-4. So it looks like they're falling off a little bit, but they're still way better than us on paper, and we have to play them at home again, just like we did last season. and we lost to them both times. This is going to be our third loss in a row to Dallas. I'm pretty sure it will be. Let's actually take a look at who we can negotiate with now. Let's see if we can talk with Tremble. And, well, Derek Brown is still not looking very happy right now. That's pretty discouraging. But then again, we're more than likely not going to be a playoff team, so I don't know why he would want. So he probably wonders why he would want to stick around, and if there's really no hope of winning a championship or even winning anything significant here. So week 15, we can actually start negotiating with a lot of the back end guys of the roster who I'm actually interested in bringing back. But Derek Brown, you know what? Okay, let's go ahead and initially offer Derek Brown something, and let's see what he says, because we actually haven't even offered him a contract yet. So let's go ahead and see about this 3-year deal just to start out. Need a bigger offer. Okay, so obviously that was a given. He was going to want more money. Well, we'll try again next week and maybe see if his interest is up anymore, because right now his interest is pretty low, despite the fact that he's 89 overall. Yeah. We may just have to get completely new on the defensive ends, because we're going to let Autry walk, and unless we really want to break the bank and offer Derek Brown a huge contract, we may have to let him walk as well. We can possibly franchise tag him, but that's going to eat up a lot. It really will. So let's answer the media question here. Let's see. I'm sure Coachman has a lot to say. You're fighting for playoff position right now, but with 2 straight losses, do you feel like an opportunity is slipping away? I don't think there's any, but if we do fail to make the playoffs, there will be some big changes to the roster. Well, yeah, there will be. Mostly because, we were a playoff team last year. We won a playoff game, and the second year we're falling flat on our face. But this is why you do rebuilds. This is why it's called a rebuild. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the Panthers won't be built in one season. But our defense is actually looking pretty solid. 80 overall is for our defense. Most of that has been because of the play of our linebackers and probably Derek Brown, which is why I feel like we should keep him around. It's tough to let an 89 overall defensive end just hit the market for nothing. That's why I'm at least trying to offer him a deal. So let's see about this game against the Cowboys. They're coming to our place. They're probably still got a lot of the same characters on their team. So feel like this would be another loss. And with the loss in this game, we'll probably be basically out of the playoffs. And we lose. So I feel like we're pretty much out of it. Don't really see any scenarios now because we're 5-8 right now. And we would need to probably run the table to have any shot at making the playoffs now. Our division is not super elite, but, the Bucks are finally starting to pull ahead. So, yeah, they would have to pretty much lose out. We would have to win out to have any shot at the playoffs. And in terms of the picture, the Falcons are not anywhere in here. So the Bears have actually triumphed them as the final wild card spot by this point of the season. So only one NFC South team is going to make the playoffs this year. And it's not going to be us. It's going to be the division winners, which right now is going to be Tampa. And we've got a game against a 9-4 Broncos team. We played a lot of tough opponents this season. We played a lot of good teams, and in most of those games, we just haven't been able to get it done. But then again, I'm not surprised. Our roster is not very good. Offensively, we haven't even cracked the 80 overall mark this season. And Bryce Young is getting better, but we're going to need to get a lot of weapons around him this offseason to really help him out. So we actually get an upset win over the Broncos. We beat them by 18 points, and that's pretty encouraging, especially considering the fact that this season looks like it's kind of going in a tailspin. Nobody holds the defense to a higher standard than me, so Brian Burns destroying the Niners offense this week. Well, Brian Burns is one of our top-rated players, so figures why he's up for it. All right, so let's get to upgrading some players first before we move on. We haven't really had any other significant injuries this season, so we've been able to have, guys like Hayden Hurst available and Henry Anderson. So, yeah. But the 49ers are 9-5, and they're 88s across the board. They are a much better team than us, and that'll probably show up when we play them this week. But first things first, let's get to negotiating, because it is week 16. We're kind of getting to the end of in terms of, Derek Brown's interest went up. Okay, so his interest went up. That's good. So let's see about a player-friendly deal, 4 years. That's a good offer. Glad we got the deal done. Okay, so Derek Brown's going to be locked in for more years to come. So that's good. But Jackson and Hubbard, they haven't really gotten any happier. And despite the fact that Dante Jackson's 80 overall and he fits our scheme, we did draft another corner, so we're going to let him walk. Autry, we're going to let walk. Let's see. Where is Tremble? Yeah, Tremble. I want to bring him back for hopefully a small 3-year deal. Excited. Okay, so we got Tremble to come to remain here because I don't know how much longer Hurst will be here. And, you know, Tremble's a young tight end. He can develop a little bit. We'll see kind of what happens. Now, Michael Burton, I think, is somebody I am interested in bringing back for just like one more season. Doesn't get... Okay, well, Burton is driving up a hard bargain as a fullback, so I'm going to just look for another one. And Anderson, I think I'm going to let walk as well because even though we brought him back, he isn't, you know, one of our top D tackles. We could probably get one better in that department in the offseason. Plus, we need to just allow ourselves to spend some money in the offseason. But we got Derek Brown inked for another few years. So we've got another pillar of the defense, which has played the best out of all three of the team, out of both of the units this season, has been okay. They've kept us in games. They've shut down some opponents at times, but you know they're good, but they're not. They're solid, but they're not really good or really great. So anyway, so we were playing the 49ers this week. They're a team that's a very good team, probably the best in the NFL. So this should be another loss if I'm guessing. But let's see. It's week 16. We only have 3 more games left in the season. And we actually upset the 49ers. So we have won back-to-back games against 9-win teams. Playoff-bound teams. Wow. So that is very interesting. We won by 7. Breakout player. Let's see if Brian Burns did okay. Okay. Well, Burns didn't do so good, so he's a little bit upset with himself. It's all right, Brian. Hey, we won the game by 7. I'm happy. If we can get wins and build some confidence going into next season during the back half of the year against some really good playoff teams, I'll take it. And hopefully Bryce Young just continues to develop and get better and better every season. That's what I'm hoping for. Unless he falls off a cliff, we're probably not switching quarterbacks during this rebuild. 7-8. And we're playing the Saints, who actually got their first win of the season, I think, a few weeks back. So they're 1-14, but they are the worst team in the league. We cannot afford to lose this game on the road in the Superdome. 2 teams that aren't going to the playoffs, but hey, this is a chance for us to get to 8 wins, and let's see what happens. And we beat the Saints. So we swept the Saints this year. We didn't allow ourselves to get beat by the worst team in the NFL. So that's kind of a win if you ask me. And we're 8-8 going into the final week of the regular season. Now, unfortunately, even if we win this game, I don't think we're going to be a playoff team. The Falcons and Buccaneers are locked into the 3 and the 6 seeds, so they're slotted to actually play against each other right now. Vikings are 1, Cowboys at 2, Giants at 7, 49ers at 4, Bears at 5, and Bills got the bye. So, final game of the regular season, we're going up against the LA Chargers. They're probably vying for a playoff spot. I feel like maybe there's an outside chance we are, despite the fact that we're 3rd in the South. But I have to imagine that both of the Bucs and the Falcons playing this week. Yeah, I still feel like even if we win this game, we're not a playoff team. But let me take a look at the standings and see kind of what we're looking like. Let's go to view standings here. So, all right. So we probably would be able to squeeze into the playoffs. Potentially, well, the Packers are 8-8 just like us. Well, it'd be pretty tough because if the Bucs lose, maybe, but I think they beat us both times, so I don't think that really matters. They own the tiebreaker against us. So, let's see. But let's go ahead and play this game. I think this may be our last game of the regular season anyway, so let's just go ahead and play it. We're playing at home, playing the LA Chargers. See if we can get a win for our home fans. And let's actually go a little bit extra here. Let's actually go ahead and wear, instead of our regular home uniforms, let's wear some whites at home. The Panthers never really wear whites at home anymore. Okay, the uniforms aren't loading, so I got to check this. Okay, so here we go. And let's go ahead and make the Chargers put on their regular home uniforms, and we will wear our white uniforms that we normally wear on the road, but we're going to wear them at home. Just to instill some positivity that even if we don't make the playoffs this year, we're a decent team and we're getting better day by day. And plus, a win is better than a loss to end the season. And we could potentially play spoiler to the Chargers. Plus, this is actually the first game that I'm jumping in to play with Bryce Young in this offense. Because mostly, obviously, as you guys know, I simulate through the season. And if it's playoff time or if we're not making the playoffs or I think we're not and it's the last game of the regular season, then I'll play it. So here we go. Final game of the 2024 regular season for us. Outside chance at the playoffs? Maybe.
Today,
but I don't really have a whole lot of optimism.
Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte,
and we're playing
North
a very
Carolina.
Good Chargers team. Wearing the whites at home for our fans.
It's Week 18 of the NFL on EA Sports.
See what Bryce Young and this offense can do against this Chargers team that is probably still pretty good on paper. So it looks like we get the ball first
and now
on
time
offense.
To check into the action as this offense tries to see if they can put a drive together here early in this first quarter. First play, and Young is going to throw it.
All right, Young, there we go. Going over there to Sharp. Makes a move. Makes another guy miss almost, and he gets 16 yards. Good job, Sharp.
16 yards on the game's first play.
It's probably his last game because, like I said, I don't think we're going to bring him back. All right, Chuba on the carry, makes a couple of moves. Almost got the first down, but he got 9 yards plus. So good for him.
Still a few inches short.
We have Miles Sanders back for another season, so I think it's just better to go with him.
Off the play fake, Young.
Jesus Christ, that's Kendrick Bourne. Bourne making the nice catch over the middle. So we're moving the ball very effectively on this drive. Bryce Young is getting plenty of time in the pocket to make some good reads. I'm excited to play with a good young quarterback who was a rookie in the original roster and just kind of develop him a little bit in this one. I felt like I had a chance to do that with the Bears rebuilding Justin Fields, but we just weren't getting it. That's why I decided to go with a different quarterback.
Straight ahead with Hubbard.
And Hubbard running hard in this first quarter. 5 yards. Good job.
Tackle made there by the safety, Derwin James. Now 2nd and 5. Now Young.
Bourne over the middle. And Bourne in the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
Kendrick Bourne.
Nice catch. The Chargers go down the field and they get a field goal. Here we are on defense for the first time. They got a 3rd down and 5, but they got all their guys healthy. They got Justin Herbert. It looks like no Austin Eckler. He must have moved on. Oh, sack him. And Brian Burns gets in there for the big sack on 3rd down. Let's go. What a play by him. Make the stop. They punt it. Here we are once again on offense. We get stopped. Let's go ahead and kick this field goal.
Lead in the 2nd quarter with an upcoming field goal attempt.
Come on, Pinheiro. Come on, Eddie.
This is up and
Eddie gets the field goal for us, and now we're up by 7. The Chargers, they came back and got, the field goal on us, but we got another one right back. Still up by 1 possession. Getting towards the end of the first half here. We've got 3 timeouts left. Let's try to get down this field and score it in the half. That's Mingo. Here we go, Mingo. Nice catch. Oh, break that. Oh, my goodness. No way. Mingo is gone. Touchdown, Panthers. What a play to end the half. Let's go. Huge. But with Chark leaving, I think Mingo is the guy that probably have to step up. And I'm excited about these young guys.
As we grind toward the end of the
Chargers
season
punting again, so here we are on offense. Again, with a chance to get some more points. And Hurst was wide open. Oh my goodness, I feel like the game is broken or something. And Hurst is all the way inside the red zone.
54 yards. After the big
slow it down a little bit here.
Finish now on 1st and goal.
So we'll go ahead and kind of, take time off the clock because we're not in a rush to, score. Still got all 3 of our timeouts, but Chuba Hubbard just walks into the end zone. Chargers are laying down in this game. They really are. I don't know if they're fighting for a playoff spot or not, but they're certainly acting like the Eagles did yesterday in their game against the Giants. Meanwhile, the Chargers have actually made this a game in the 3rd quarter. We're only up by 7. We've got a critical 3rd down here, so I think I spoke too soon. Come on, Hurst. That catch. Oh my goodness, why did you come backwards? Come on, Hurst. Go up the field. It's a rub route. You're supposed to catch it, not come back for it. Now here we are on defense. We could potentially give up the lead if they score a touchdown here. 2 minutes left in the 3rd.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
We're able to stop him.
And they get to him quickly here as he stops right around the 13.
We've been shut out in this 3rd quarter.
2nd and 7. Justin Herbert looking to pass.
Oh, he dropped it. But I was ready for the hit stick with 49 right there.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
Come on, 3rd down. We'll move field goal.
Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert.
Brown, get off your guy. Oh, we get a pick. Let's go. Intercepted. J.C. Horn, the big money man with the interception. Let's go. All right, 3rd down and 6.
This defense in
this could be kind of like a put-away drive. We score here.
Let's see if they can get that stop.
Maybe we kind of put the nails in the coffin here, but there's got to be some throws that Bryce Young has to make, and that's a big one that he made to Boone. 367 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has thrown a pick, but Bryce Young is playing great in this game. Playing very
well.
It's
a 3rd down situation in the 4th quarter. Time to see if this defense is up to the task.
Let's try a
Young
screen.
to throw it.
Come on.
They'll run the screen with Hubbard.
Come on, Hubbard. 1st down. Wow. Screen play actually worked. Normally I wouldn't do that on 3rd and long, but I feel like with the passing game, we've been able to move the ball at will whenever we want to. So I figured, why not? All right, 94 real. Let's run the football. Let's pick up this 1st down. Keep it away from him. There we go, Hubbard. There's 1st down.
Here at the 12-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Let's change the play. Let's go with this play.
From the shotgun, it's Young.
But what the?
Eluding the pressure right.
Just throw it away.
And he just throws this
I don't
away.
Think whoever that was on the left, they were supposed to run a slant route, and it looks like they ran an out route. The guy on the left just ran the wrong route. I don't know if that was a glitch or what, but that definitely, I don't think, was the route that he was supposed to run.
He'll look to throw.
Come on, Mingo. Mingo with another catch. Against his 1 yard short.
Juke the defender before the next wave could bring him down. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 31. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down.
Hubbard.
They'll try and run for this with Hubbard.
Easy walk-in touchdown. Chuba Hubbard with his 2nd touchdown of the game. Way to go. Well, that's a big touchdown. That puts the pressure on them to score pretty quickly. They did. So now, this is where we got to put them away. We just hit the 2-minute warning. They're going to stack the box on every play. We're going to be running the ball every play. That was a pretty good gain on 1st down. We're going to keep the ball out of their hands.
2nd and 2.
All right, we just got to play keep away here. Just got to play keep away. Defense has let up a little bit in this game, but our offense has been electric with Bryce Young, so they've kept us in it. And that was a big 1st down that we got right there. Now they've burned a 2nd timeout. They've only got 1 left.
Disappointed to have to burn one there.
Almost there.
Giving up the 1st down. go again here with Hubbard.
All right, Hubbard.
The result here,
First down run.
Leaves them with 2 to
Now
go
that's
on
the
second
last
down.
of their timeouts, so that's it.
Chargers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Give up the middle.
Biggest thing is that if we win this game, we do finish the season with a win record, so that's good, regardless of whether we get the playoffs. We get the first down, so now let's start taking these and get this game over with. Got to win at home to close out the regular season in front of our hometown fans. Does this mean playoffs or doesn't it? We'll see. We were 5-8 at one point, and we looked dead in the water. But we rallied to win some big games towards the end of the season against some big-time opponents in Denver and San Francisco. Took care of business against New Orleans. Now we're taking care of another formidable foe in the Chargers with Justin Herbert. So this is a big win to end the season. But we'll see if it means playoffs or not.
So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, but he's
Down
going to
now.
want
We'll
to keep
take
that
probably
game
one more
ball.
knee,
He
and that'll
was
do it.
sensational.
Actually, I don't think we need to do that. Going to end the season with a 7-point win against the Chargers. It was a tough battle. They came back in the second half against us, and they challenged us. But we were able to get it done, and
this was a close game for
we'll
a long time. Close at
is it
half,
good enough to get us to the playoffs, or are we just on the outside looking in?
Victory.
Yeah,
Regardless, good way to end the season, and we'll finish the season with a winning record of 9-8. So that's positive takeaways from
every
this game,
snap,
for sure.
seemingly more important than the previous one. Great effort from the guys visiting, but in the end, how about those guys in their home stadium finding a way to win?
So for Carolina, they do.
All right. Now I guess it's really kind of the moment of truth. Are we a playoff team, or are we going home and staying, or are we staying at home and watching everybody else play? Let's see. If the Bucs and Falcons won, no way. Nope, we weren't good enough. Looks like the Bucs lost, but they own the tiebreaker against us. Unless they didn't make the playoffs. No, so because the Buccaneers lost that game, they're not in the playoffs. So, and we lost the tiebreaker to them. So we finished the season at 9-8, but we don't make the playoffs. But we'll hopefully be back next year. So going to the playoffs, here's what we got. We got the Cowboys against the Eagles. We got the Falcons against the Giants. Niners against the Bears. The Vikings have the best record in the NFC, so they have the bye week. That's another team I'm potentially thinking about rebuilding, the Vikings, due to the fact that Kirk Cousins may be on his last legs. So we'll see. I don't know. That's another side note. And now we've got the Broncos and the Dolphins. We've got the Colts against the Chiefs, Ravens, and the Bills. And the Patriots have the bye week. So second year, they are looking pretty good. They've had a little bit of a rebuild of their own, just like I did a few series ago. But because we finished the year at 9-8, and on a positive note, we do have our team in the 80 overalls for all three slots across the board. So that's encouraging. So let's advance to next week. Let's advance to the divisional round and see who advanced in the postseason. All the big-name guys that we wanted to re-sign, I've already inked, so I'm not worried about that when the offseason actually kicks in. So the Cowboys beat the Eagles in a close game. The Giants beat the Falcons in a high-scoring game by 6. And the 49ers beat the Bears. So it's Cowboys, 49ers. That's a good matchup. And we've got the Vikings against the Giants, a rematch of last year's wild card game in real life. And at Minnesota, too. So that'll be fun. And the Broncos beat the Dolphins. The Colts lost to the Chiefs. And the Ravens beat the Bills. So we've got the Broncos and the Ravens, and we've got the Patriots and the Chiefs. So let's see who advances to the title games, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's see who's in the championship games. So the Chiefs went on the road in Foxborough and beat the Patriots pretty soundly. So Mahomes once again going to another AFC championship game. Broncos beat the Ravens, so we've got the Broncos and the Chiefs, and we've got the Vikings and the 49ers after the 49ers went on the road to Dallas and beat the Cowboys, and the Vikings beat the Giants. So they got some revenge from a few years back. So Vikings, 49ers, Broncos, Chiefs for year 2 of the rebuild. Let's see who's going to the Super Bowl. And then we'll see if any of our Carolina Panthers made the Pro Bowl as we go into this week. All right, let's take a look actually at the playoff bracket first, and let's see who's going to the big one. So the Chiefs went on the road once again and beat the Broncos in Denver at Mile High, and the Niners beat the Vikings to advance to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be the 49ers and the Chiefs. So it's a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2019. So this will be a good one. Should be a fun one. We'll see if Kansas City gets another Super Bowl or if it's the Niners' time, if they're finally going to get over the hump and win their 6th Super Bowl. All right, so let's view the Pro Bowl roster and let's see if any Panthers made it. I don't know, but we'll see. Chuba Hubbard made the Pro Bowl. Okay. And despite the fact, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have enough money to bring him back. So, going to make the Pro Bowl. He may demand more money, but I don't see us bringing him back. We can get a better running back probably in the offseason, and we still have Miles Sanders, who's pretty good. Not pretty good, but he's decent. So, Chuba made the Pro Bowl. And who else made the Pro Bowl from us? Shaq Thompson made it. And so did Brian Burns. So 2 of our linebackers made it. That's good. And that's it. So we had 3 Panthers make it. Shaq, Brian Burns, and Chuba Hubbard. All right. Well, let's go to Super Bowl week. Let's see who goes to this and see what we've got. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the awards, and let's see if any of the Panthers came even close to getting anything. So the MVP of the National Football League goes to Dak Prescott. Coach of the Year goes to Ramiro Gallo, the coach of the Minnesota Vikings. So they've clearly found something there. Even though they didn't go to the Super Bowl, they did make it to the NFC Championship. So good for them. All right, well, let's see about the NFC. Offensive Player of the Year went to Saquon. Chuba Hubbard finished actually 9th for Offensive Player of the Year, so that's good. Shaq finished 2nd for Defensive Player of the Year, so that's pretty nice. Offensive Rookie of the Year, no Panthers in here. Defensive Rookie of the Year, no. Best QB, where did Bryce Young finish 7th? Okay. Best Running Back, Hubbard came in 3rd. Best Wide Receiver, Best O-Line, Bradley Bosman finished 7th. Okay. Best Defensive Lineman, no Panthers there. Best Linebacker, Brian Burns finished 2nd, and Shaq finished 4th. So we got some pretty solid linebackers back there. Best DB, J.C. Horn finished 9th. Okay. Best Kicker, nobody there. Okay. So Chuba, maybe I should consider bringing him back, but let's just advance past the Super Bowl and let's see what I want to do with Chuba Hubbard if I want to bring him back. Because I feel like I need to cut cash in some ways. And he'll cash in bigger with another team anyway than anything we're probably going to offer him. And it looks like that for the Super Bowl this year, the winner is the Chiefs. So they've won another championship. They have won their 4th World Championship in franchise history. The MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. Once again, the Chiefs beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and the 49ers are still looking for their 6th championship. MVP went to Dak. Coach of the Year, Ramiro Gallo. Offensive Player of the Year went to Saquon of the Giants. Defensive Player of the Year went to Micah Parsons of the Cowboys. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Drake May from the Giants. And Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Bears. All right, then. So that's how year number 2 goes. Nothing really needed to be done with the staff, so I'm not going to worry about doing that just yet. But I think we're going to get to the final negotiating chance to just take one more look and see if I want to negotiate with any more of the players before I let all of them walk. We'll take a look before we hit free agency. Let's take a look one more time and see. $67 million in cap. But Chuba's interest really isn't up there. Yep, all the rest of y'all are walking away. Sorry, Chuba. You'll cash in more with another team. Let's check out the retirements, though. Let's see if we had any Panthers retire. I don't think we did. I don't think we would in this year, but let's see. Harrison Smith retired, but usually he retires after the 2nd year of a rebuild. So, Danico Autry retired. I was considering bringing him back, but he's retiring after 11 years. So, good luck with the rest of your life, sir. So, we definitely need to find another new left defensive end. We had to replace it last year, but we're going to have to replace it again. Maybe that's where we go in the draft, but we'll see how free agency goes, and then we'll determine what we do in April for the draft. All right, so speaking of the draft, let's take a look at mock draft number 3 and see where they have us projected, what they have us projected to do. Now, 4 and 5 will come out more during the offseason, but let's see what they have us slated to do. Right now, and also another thing, is that going into this draft, we do have a first-round pick this time. So we'll actually get a chance to spend a draft pick on some good players. Mykel Williams, defensive tackle out of Georgia. He's a little bit of a familiar name. I think I drafted him in one of my other rebuilds. Can't remember which one, though. But defensive tackle out of Georgia. We do need another defensive tackle. The only thing that's discouraging is that he doesn't fit our scheme, but he is a power rusher. So I like that, but I don't really love it. As far as other guys around him projected to be selected, we could use another corner because we are letting go of our second corner, Dominique Jackson out of USC. We could use upgrades all over the offensive line, so maybe Tashmola out of Ohio State could be another option. And we do need a new defensive end, so maybe Eni White out of Texas A&M, maybe Emory Jones out of LSU is another tempting guy to take. Yeah. We're just going to pick the best player available at pick number 16. Especially because we have a first-round pick and we need to get some good talent in here that's going to hopefully be able to develop with a lot of young players that we have. We got a good mix of old veterans, but we got a lot of young players too that are developing, including our quarterback. So I need to find a good mesh of young and old players to kind of go and put this team together. All right. Well, we took a look at everything we need to take care of here. We're letting everybody else walk in free agency. So let's advance to the first stage of the offseason, which is free agency. And we'll see who's out here. All right. So let's take a look at, let's see about the college players here really quick. Yeah, same group. No change really there in terms of who's projected to be higher and, lower. All right. So let's go to the free agent list and see who is a free agent. Any big names? Nick Chubb. Oh, wow. But he is really not interested in coming here. So first things first, let's actually go to our roster and see what holes we could fill in free agency at least first. Let's Let's see what major holes we can try to fill. So Chuba's the top guy, but let's see what we have to spend. All right, we do need a backup quarterback. You know, Miles Sanders is up to an 80. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't really tempted to bring back Chuba, because we also have him. We do need a new fullback, and we could use another receiver. Jonathan Mingo did play very well, and we did draft Singer. If there's another guy in the 80s that's just as good as Kendrick Bourne, I think that may be somebody worth bringing in here. And, you know, Hayden Hurst actually dropped a little bit. We don't really need a new tight end, but if there's a high overall 80s guy, maybe. Our left tackle's good. Left guard, we could use an upgrade. Center's okay. Right guard could use an upgrade as well. Both guards could use an upgrade. But the tackles are both pretty solid. You know, Gabriel Murphy actually kind of came on later. You know, we could just let him, you know, play it out. But I want to get another defensive end, another like mentor type of player. And we could draft that defensive tackle that they're projecting us to take, so that would take care of that. We could maybe find another left outside linebacker, but I don't really know if we need to go that route. J.C. Horn, Cypress. If there's another low 80s corner that fits our scheme, maybe. And not a really whole lot of, you know, stuff here. We do need a new kicker and punter. So, I mean, you know, Chuba Hubbard's the top-rated, I think, overall free agent available. But I'm okay with rolling the dice with Miles Sanders for this season, because he's out of Hubbard's shadow fully. He's a former Eagle, former Super Bowl participant a couple years back. So we'll let him kind of get a chance. But let's see about other running backs. So Najee Harris is out there, but he's not a good scheme fit type of guy. And I kind of just want to mess with backs that are even interested in coming here. Antonio Gibson's tempting, but I don't know. Blossingame, we need a new fullback. Let's go ahead and maybe bring him in on a cheap one-year deal. We have $65 million to spend, so that's not a whole lot. Let's see about receivers. Amari Cooper. Oh, wow, okay. I think this guy is worth taking a look at bringing in for sure. His interest is not all the way up, but he seems interested in coming. The Vikings are the only other team competing for his services. If we don't get him, not the end of the world. I'd like to, but if we don't, that's fine. I think tight ends were good. Left guard and right guard need upgrades. Chuma, Doga, maybe. Not a lot of players really, you know, say, oh, I want to go play for the Panthers, you know. And Brady Christensen is a guy that we let walk who was actually our starting left guard, so. But let's see about Chuma. Offer him a one-year deal to come over here. Former Cowboy, former Jet. Are we his only offer? We are. Only offer. So you know what? Because we're his only offer, let's lighten this load a little bit. Mostly because I want to, you know, not be spending a whole lot just to get a stopgap left guard. Right guard. James Daniels, 80 overall. Let's see about him. One-year deal. Let's see what this does. Well, we're his top team right now since we did that, so that's pretty nice. Left end. Nobody's interested. James Smith-Williams, maybe. I think this is a guy we can probably just bring in as a mentor type of player because Gabriel Murphy looks like he may take the next step this season. So let's bring him in as kind of a mentor guy to just kind of, help some of the young players. And he's interested in coming here, so I think that's pretty good. Well, we could get Michael Pierce to solve all of our defensive tackle troubles, but I don't know if we can afford him. And not only that, but we've used up all of our signing targets during this period. So let's take a look at our players we targeted so far in this first wave. Amari Cooper's the big one. If we can get him, the Vikings are the other team competing for his services, but if we can get Cooper, that'd be a big, big upgrade for the receiving room. Definitely would be nice to have him and Kendrick Bourne as weapons for Bryce Young. And he also fits our scheme. And he's an older player too, so he'd be a good mentor to the young players we have too. James Daniels, right guard. We need an upgrade there. New fullback, Blossing Game. Nobody else is competing for him. And James Smith-Williams, new left defensive end, because Autry, of course, retired. And Chuma Edoga. Those are the guys that we're targeting in this first wave of free agency. Hopefully we can land at least half these guys. We don't have all the money in the world to spend, so maybe kind of tough to get all of them at once, but we'll see. All right. Let's take a look at free agents and see if we got anybody to sign. So it looks like we didn't get Cooper. Amari Cooper went to the Vikings. Oh, well. Okay, so the only guy that we've signed so far has actually been James Smith-Williams. And it looks like a bunch of the guys who we targeted signed with other teams. So that's kind of discouraging. Okay, well, I guess we're back to the drawing board a little bit. Hopefully Blossing Game and Edoga sign. Because who did sign the guys that we wanted? Let's see. We wanted to go after left guard. Okay, well, we also want to go after right guard. Let's see. Targeted. Who signed already? So James Daniels went to the Saints. Oh, okay, well, it's back to the drawing board. Let's see. Right guard. Let's go after somebody else. Let's go after Graham Glasgow. 77, not bad, but we do need an upgrade there. So let's see about him. Glasgow looks like a guy who is okay coming to be a part of that. So, okay, so left end, I think. So we got James Smith-Williams. So we took care of that hole. All right, we're gonna get we're probably gonna land Blossing Game. So I'm not worried about trying to think about fullback plans. Let's see. We need a kicker and a punter. Let's see. Harrison Butker is available, and he's actually interested in coming here. Let's bring him in for a 2-year deal. Because we need a new kicker and a punter. Let's see about punters. Thomas Townsend wants to come. Let's see, 3-year deal. Tommy, come on down. Come over, boy. We're these only guys offers, so hopefully that bodes well for us. So we do need a backup quarterback for Bryce. Kirk Cousins is out there. I want to get a scheme fit guy as a backup. There's really no scheme fit guys out here. Okay, well, since there's no really big scheme fit guys there at the top, let's just get a guy who is solid enough. Let's go ahead and bring in Kirk Cousins to be our backup quarterback for 1 year. Just in case something happens to Bryce. You never know. And Kirk has experience, but the Vikings, they let him go. We'll see if he can come here and be a decent backup. Najee Harris is still available too. But no, I don't want to do that. I think this is it for the second wave. Let's take a look at who we've targeted in the second wave, and because some of them are still from the first wave. We've only been able to sign one guy, and that's been James Smith-Williams, our new left defensive end. So we've still targeted Chuma. He's still considering our offer, but he's got no other offers, so I feel like he will sign on the dotted line. We're still negotiating with Blossingame as our fullback, Kirk Cousins, Graham Glasgow because we lost out on the other guy that I wanted to sign, and Tommy Townsend and Harrison Butker, new kicker and punter. So let's see if we get any of these guys. We could obviously negotiate with more players, but, you know, not a whole lot of money to go around. So let's see what happens. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see who signed. All right, so we got Butker, we got Townsend, we did get Glasgow, Kirk Cousins, Blossingame, Williams, and Udoka. So we got everybody that we wanted to go for. We still have some money to spend, so let's take a look at any more players who are available. Man, Nick Chubb still hasn't signed with a team yet, but we'd have to offer him the farm in order to get him, so I don't know if I want to do that. Could use maybe another receiver just to help out, maybe just somebody else. Tutu Atwell, well, that could be tempting. He does fit our scheme. Let's just bring him in as another receiver just to give, you know, some help. Let's go with a 2-year team-friendly deal. Let's see if he'll take this. I think we're going to be his only offer, so hopefully he does. Well, the Cardinals are competing for his services too, but if we lose that on Atwell, I'm not going to get too upset about that. Do we need any backup offensive linemen? Let's take a look at our roster, actually. See if we need to get any depth guys. Because I don't know how much of that we're going to get in the draft. We could probably get some, but not a lot. It's really good. Could use a third tight end, but we can probably get that in the draft. Getting Chuma in here puts him immediately as our starting left guard. And Glasgow helps with the right guard, so that's good. So as far as depth on the offensive line, we're pretty good. We don't even really need to draft one, but if there's some guy that's really good, it'd be tempting to go after him. Not defensive tackles. We could use another defensive tackle for depth. Let's probably go out and try one and get one of those. All right, let's see about left outside linebackers, and let's see about a defensive tackle. All right, left outside linebacker and defensive tackles. Let's see who's out here still. Let's see who's available. I mean, Michael Pierce is there, but his price is pretty steep. BJ Hill? Maybe. You know, let's go after a guy who's going to be, maybe could kind of be a backup. Let's go after Sebastian Joseph Day. Get some depth on that defensive line. Young guy, you know, we're his only offer, so we'll probably be able to land him. Let's go to left outside linebackers. Hassan Reddick is the top guy. He's already going to the Bucks, and Khalil Mack's going to the Colts. Jack Sanborn is still available. Akeem Davis Gaithier, 74. Let's see about this team-friendly deal. See if he'll take this, because we technically have our guy in DJ Johnson. So let's see if he'll take that offer. All right, so new wave of targets. Only 2 guys in probably this final wave. So we're still negotiating with Tutu Atwell. If we don't get him, that's fine. Sebastian Joseph Day and Akeem Davis Gaither. So we'll see if we get either of those guys. Mainly getting them for guys to be on the depth chart to give us some, you know, just to give us some backups, you know. All right, let's check out the free agency recap and see if we landed either of any of those three guys. So we got Sebastian Joseph Day, but we didn't get any of the other guys. That's fine. Tutu Atwell must have gone to the Cardinals. All good. We lowballed him, but hey, we didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on a guy like that. Private workouts. Delegate decision to the staff. All right, mock draft 5. Based on the free agency moves we've done, let's see if they changed anything. My guess is they probably might have. So this is the final mock draft before we go into the draft. Let's see who they are projected to take now. So they still have projected to take Mykel Williams, which I think we should still take. If he's there at 16 out of Georgia, I think that's the guy that we need to take now based on how things have transpired. So Mykel Williams, I think, is our guy. If he's there at 16, we're going to take him. So, you know, getting defensive for this draft. Let's go ahead and advance to the draft and let's get going. Here we go.
The New Orleans Saints are now on the clock.
Let's see. Is Mykel still there? There he is. Mykel Williams, we need you. Come on. First round pick, 16th overall for the 2025 draft. Mykel Williams out of Georgia. Welcome to the Panthers. Excited about him. All right. Well, we could, now let's kind of go by best. We could use another running back. So, I think, so Jaden Ott out of Cal seems pretty solid. He doesn't fit our scheme, but let's get another young running back in here. Jaden Ott out of Cal.
It's the Carolina Panthers now on the clock. We could use another left defensive end. Maybe Emmanuel Allen out of North Dakota State. That's pretty tempting. Michael Gregory, left tackle out of Tennessee, looks pretty tempting as well. And there's a couple of corners that I'd be interested in. But you know what? Let's get Emmanuel Allen out of North Dakota State because we need some depth on the defensive line. Let's get him. Welcome to Carolina. With the next selection, the Carolina Panthers on the clock.
All right, here we are in the 5th round. Could use another corner. But this left tackle, Juan Youngblood out of Arkansas, fits our scheme. Looks pretty tempting. I'm going to go ahead and take him. Roll the dice. I know we got plenty of depth on the offensive line, but it looks pretty solid to take.
On the clock.
Maybe a gem in the 5th round. And here we are in the 6th round. Use another. We could use a corner, so let's go with Andrew Smith out of Wisconsin. He fits our scheme.
The Panthers are on the clock.
Sixth round here.
This Levi Gary guy actually looks pretty solid out of USC. So let's get another backup tackle. Get younger on the offensive line a little bit.
It's the Carolina Panthers.
And we're in the 7th round. And I think this is the round where maybe we try to go with a backup quarterback. Austin Tucker, Bo Falk, Chaz McDowell, Jaden Fisher. Let's go with Bo Falk out of Dayton. That guy's probably not real, but still, we need a third-string quarterback.
Panthers on the clock.
And this is our final pick of the draft. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get a linebacker. Let's get Jamal Pearson. All right. So solid draft. Really like Michael Williams being our new starting defensive tackle potentially. You know, that's a hole we needed to fill this offseason, and I think we pretty much have done that with getting him in here. So, pretty excited. So let's take a look at our rookies, the 2025 rookie class for the Carolina Panthers. First round, Michael Williams, defensive tackle out of Georgia, 16th overall. Third round, Jaden Ott, running back out of Cal. Somebody else who can compete with Miles Sanders. And, of course, we don't have Chuba Hubbard anymore. And I didn't really want to spend a bunch of money on a fullback like Nick Chubb. So we're going with Jaden Ott. Drafted Emmanuel Allen, left end in the 4th round. 5th round, Juan Youngblood, left tackle out of Arkansas. Andrew Smith, cornerback out of Wisconsin in the 6th round. And then also in the 6th round, we drafted Levi Gary and then Bo Falk. So, pretty interesting draft, pretty solid draft. I like a lot of these guys as far as young players. So let's go ahead and adjust our roster a little bit. Let's kind of, make sure, see if we can give some of the college guys their jersey numbers and, make them feel welcome at home. And we also drafted, Gabriel Murphy last year out of UCLA. So our defensive line is getting younger, and we're getting some talent there that we could really use. So, yeah. So Jaden Ott, I know he wears number 1, but I think number 1 is already taken by somebody. So let's see who's wearing number 1. Maurice Alexander. Okay, I actually don't know who you are. Know who you are at all. So I'm actually going to go ahead and change your number. Let's see. Do we have any 80 receiver numbers that we can give you? Let's see. 89. Actually, no. That's Steve Smith Sr.'s number. Let's go ahead and give you 88. And let's go ahead and give Jaden Ott his number 1 that he wore at Cal. Ott may see the field a little bit this season as a backup behind Sanders. I'd like to see him there, but we'll see kind of how that transpires. Either way, solid back out of Cal. Pretty good there. Juan Youngblood. I don't think this guy is real. Yeah, he's not a real player. Okay, so he can keep 77. I don't think Levi Gary is real, but let's see. No, he's not real. All right, left end. Let's see here. Now, Emmanuel Allen, I think, is real.
maybe he isn't real. Okay. Stand corrected. All right, but Michael Williams. I know this guy's real. Number does he wear at Georgia? He's number 13 as well, just like Tyler Davis. Ooh. Well, Michael can wear, we'll keep him wearing 92. And Jamal Pearson had a pin. No way that guy's real, so we're not going to change him. Andrew Smith, I feel like, is not real either, so we're just going to let that be. But, you know, the good thing is that we have depth. So, I like to look at that. But Bo Falk, we can't have a quarterback wearing number 28, so we're going to definitely have to change him. I think we can give a number 17 because that was worn by Ott, formerly, you know, Chark before him. Yeah. Let's give him number 17. Bo Falk. Number 17, our third-string quarterback. 56 overall. Long way to go for you, sir. You know, Kirk Cousins, I'd like to give him maybe number 12. Keontae Ingram could potentially be a guy that we actually look to trade. So let's just wait till we get the preseason and see if any trade offers come for him. So roster looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and advance to the preseason. And then I'm going to go ahead and kind of start to wrap up this live stream. And yeah. So second year, no playoffs, but we're retooling the roster, rebuilding some things a little bit. So I like the direction the Panthers are going, but hopefully we can get back to being a competitive playoff team in year 3 and fight our way back to the top of this division. So thank you guys for checking out the live stream. I don't know if I'll be having one tomorrow. If anything, tomorrow it might be the conclusion of the Dallas Cowboys rebuild where we play the Super Bowl, because I've been putting that off for the past couple of weeks because I just wanted to do something a little bit different on the channel with Madden. So I'm thinking I'll probably do that tomorrow, but there's no guarantees. But thank you guys for checking out the live stream. It's your boy Malin. I will see y'all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.